The midterm elections are coming up on November 8th, but the U.S. Election Assistance Commission has been helping states prepare since the 22 election. Thomas Hicks is the chairman and one of 4 commissioners serving on the EAC. Tom, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Tell me, what's the commission's role in ensuring security and integrity of the election system?
So our role is twofold, basically. So one, we certify voting equipment. It's on a voluntary basis, which states decide whether or not they want to join our program. And over 38 states are currently using some form of our program. The other way that we do this is by handing out and giving out security funds, which Congress appropriated in 2018, 2020, and 2022 as well. And so far, we've given out $805 million in the last 3 years, so states can up their security issues or fortify their systems.
And when you say security, are we talking physical security or are we talking cyber security? Explain that.
We're talking all kinds of security. So physical security of the voting equipment, so they can do two protection locks on doors. Physical security of election workers. So in June, the four commissioners, myself included, voted to authorize HAVA funds for ensuring that election workers stay safe in use of HAVA funds. And then cybersecurity, ensuring that cybersecurity issues are taken care of with most of this HAVA funds.
So there was a lot of misinformation and disinformation around the last election. What are you doing to combat that?
So mis and disinformation is nothing new, whether or not it's Democrats vote on Tuesday, Republicans vote on Thursday, or vice versa. That's always been the case. Now that it's using cyber issues, it's instantaneous. And so what we're doing is combating that with working with our partners at the National Association of Secretary of State or the National Association of State Election Directors to say that if you want information, you should go to trusted sources like the EAC, like NAS, the election officials themselves to get that information.
You know, during the pandemic, voters really turned to mail-in ballots. How do you see that trend? Is that increasing? Will there be more voting by mail, or are people just going to go back in person?
I don't know, but I think that vote by mail has been around since the Civil War. And then with the pandemic, a lot of people decided that if this is a little bit easier for me to do, it's a little more convenient, and therefore I'm going to use it. My family uses it because I'm never home on election day anymore. So I'm going to continue to use it. And there are safeguards in place for that. So election officials check and verify these votes before they are counted.
I was going to say there was a lot of discussion about that, saying, you know, you can't trust mail-in ballots. What do you say to that?
I say that that's false. Mail-in ballots are just as safe as any other form of voting. And there are risks and safeguards put in place to ensure that when people are casting these votes, that they're counted only if they are eligible to be counted.
You know, another impact of the pandemic was that a lot of longtime poll workers opted to stay out of the elections. What are you doing about that?
So the Election Assistance Commission has had Poll Worker Recruitment Day and Help America Vote Day. So on August 16th of this year, we had for the 3rd time Help America Vote Day, where we recruited poll workers and election workers to serve in the general election. That's going to continue on as needed, but when folks sign up for that, they should know that maybe your jurisdiction has enough election workers so that you may not hear back. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't volunteer for 24 or the next federal election moving forward.
And you alluded to this earlier about the safety of election officials and poll workers. They got a lot of threats against their own personal safety. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing to help in that case.
So we're working with the FBI and other groups to ensure that election officials stay safe. The one thing I want to emphasize is that if someone threatens an election worker or a poll worker, that's a crime, and they should be prosecuted. And these folks are volunteering to do this. They're paid, but they're volunteering. These are our aunts, these are our uncles, our grandmothers, our grandfathers. They're just doing what they want to ensure that our democracy remains strong. So the thing I want to say is that if people have an issue with the way that the elections are run, then they should volunteer as a poll worker themselves. Be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem.
And, you know, you had said that this was voluntary for states. Do state election officials welcome your help? Or do some of them say, you know what, I don't want the feds involved in this?
So the voluntary voting system guidelines are voluntary for the states, but every state has taken HAVA funds, and so they have to adhere to certain standards. Some of those standards include making sure that they have a centralized database for election registration, or provide provisional ballots for folks who come in whose names might not be on the list, but they feel that they are, and then those are checked before they are counted.
You know, I just want to wrap up with just asking you, how confident are you about these midterm elections? Will they be safe? Will they be fair? What do you think?
I think they will be. Every election has some issue that occurs, whether or not that's 1776 or whether or not that's 2022. There will be some issues that occur. The issue that we need to focus in on is to ensure that whatever issues come up, those are resolved quickly and accurately.
And you are working with CISA, FBI, other federal agencies to ensure that?
The Postal Service, the CDC, working with them still. The issue that I would say for everyone is cast your vote. Your vote won't be counted if you don't cast it.
All right. Well, Tom, thanks so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future Government Matters interviews.